The Native American people of New Mexico's 19 Indian pueblos are believed to be descendants of the Anasazi. Thousands of years ago, the Anasazi lived in the four corners of Chaco Canyon in New Mexico, Mesa Verde in Colorado, Canyon de Chelly in Arizona, and Monument Valley in Utah. The Four Corners region is located on the 130-mile expanse of land known as the Colorado Plateau. Millions of years ago, the topography of this area changed due to the volcanic activity, with the exception of the Colorado Plateau. Even today, geologists can't explain this phenomena except to say that it is mystical. By 1100 AD, most likely because of drought conditions, the Anasazi began to migrate through the state of New Mexico. This map shows each pueblo living near the Rio Grande or a tributary to that river. In 1598, the colonization of New Mexico began with the arrival of Don Juan De Onyate and his soldiers. The Franciscan friars arrived with Onyate to begin the forced evangelization to Christianity of the Pueblo people. The Spaniards arrived on El Camino Real de Adentro, the royal road to the interior. It was a 1,500-mile trade route that began in Mexico City and ended 30 miles north of Santa Fe near Owingeh Pueblo in an area named San Gabriel by the Spaniards. For the next 7 decades, the Indians were forced into servitude and Christianity, and many of their women were taken as wives for the Spaniards. Coming from medieval Europe, the clergy believed that the medicine men of the pueblos were practicing witchcraft as they performed their ceremonial rituals. In 1676, the Spanish rounded up all of the medicine men from the northern pueblos. They were brought to the Santa Fe Plaza for a public flogging to discourage the practice of black magic. The flogging incident was the straw that broke the camel's back. The Native Americans were already fed up with the Spaniards and their harsh treatment, but when their medicine men, who were considered the high priests of the tribe, were publicly whipped, they realized they had to put a stop to the dominance of the Spaniards. It was Popé, the medicine man of Owingeh Pueblo, who began preparations for the Pueblo Revolt of 1680, the most significant event in New Mexico's history. The Indians successfully drove all of the Spanish colonists out of New Mexico down to El Paso del Norte, which was then part of Mexico and today is El Paso, Texas. For 12 years, the Spaniards remained in El Paso del Norte. During the revolt, all of the Catholic churches were destroyed by fire, with the exception of San Esteban Church at Acoma Pueblo, seen in this photo. The people of Acoma had worked so hard to build the church, high above their 750-foot sandstone bluff, they could not bring themselves to destroy their church. It was the only church in New Mexico's history during the Pueblo Revolt that was not destroyed. During the early part of the 20th century, the city of Santa Fe built a memorial to the 21 Franciscan priests that were martyred during the Pueblo Revolt. The cross is high above the city, overlooking Santa Fe. Nowhere in northern New Mexico is there any memorial to the thousands of Indians who were killed by the Spaniards. Each state in the Union has two statues at Statuary Hall in Washington, D.C. This statue of Popeye is located at the nation's capital, representing New Mexico during a time of upheaval and transformation that forever changed the history of New Mexico.